2024 Ford Ranger Raptor, pushed to its limits in Utah's rugged desert. Taking Ford's 2024 Ranger Raptor to the limits in Utah's deserts, from sand dunes to rock crawls. The 2024 Ford Ranger Raptor competes as a mid-size supper truck. That is to say, like its big brother, the F-150 Raptor, or others like the Ram TRX. The Ranger Raptor is an off-road powerhouse in its segment. Motors, Toyota and, to a lesser extent, Nissan have competitors, but the Ranger Raptor has deeper roots. This is the slightly modified Ford Ranger Raptor I drove in the desert at the 2024 Ranger Rally. The Ford Ranger Raptor has history. Developed for the overseas market, the Ford Ranger Raptor was sold in many places where the F-150 Raptor wasn't available. That's according to Ford. Basically, they could placate those who couldn't get the big one. More, there were powertrain, EPA and safety issues that would have to be resolved if they wanted it sold in North America. That would have been rather expensive. In addition, many feel Ford was cautious about possibly usurping F-150 Raptor sales with the Ranger Raptor. Even back in 2018, when the Ranger Raptor came out overseas, many in North America were furious about the automaker's decision. In addition, General Motors introduced highly capable off-road versions of the Colorado and Canyon pickup trucks. The ZR2 and AT4X had no real competition, other than the Jeep Gladiator. These new, or reborn pickup trucks posed a great threat. Ford answered by, finally, bringing the Ranger Raptor to our shores and undercutting the competition at the same time. Raptor pricing. The 2024 Ford Ranger Raptor has a base price of $55,720, that's before destination, other fees and taxes. Yes, the Colorado ZR2 has a base price that undercuts the Ranger Raptor by 10%. On the other hand, the Bison version of the Colorado ZR2 starts at over $61,000. It sits at the lower end of the financial spectrum when compared to the Bison, the GMC Canyon AT4X and the Toyota Tacoma Trailhunter. A base ZR2 or a fully loaded Frontier Pro 4X undercut the Ranger Raptor. For the dough, you get a lot of kit. Standard powertrain is a 3.0-liter, 405 horsepower, twin-turbo V6 that makes 430 pound-feet of torque. The highest torque numbers in its class. Along with the beefed-up underpinnings and suspension, you get 2.5-inch Fox Live valve shocks. In addition, Ford's massive 12.4-inch infotainment screen loaded with a 360-degree camera. That system is paired with a 10-speaker Bang & Olufsen audio package. The very first Raptor Rally, similar to a Jeep Jamboree or other automotive fan event, the Raptor Rally kicked off in the sandy desert near Fairfield, Utah. Ford pulled out all the stops for this gathering, offering a day filled with camaraderie, driving events, accessible Raptor engineers, displays and more. For many, the draw were the carefully planned events. Included a jump course, blasting through a sandpit, rock crawling and more. The main purpose of these events, along with symposiums, is to familiarize Raptor owners with their vehicles and desert off-roading. The aforementioned symposiums featured Off-Roading 101, How to Extract Stuck Vehicles, Stay the Trail, conferences and more. The event was held about a quarter-mile from the other. A large stage and metal building served as the center hub for all events. By the end of the dusty day, many owners of Bronco, F-150 and Ranger Raptors were exhausted, but elated. It was a successful event, and Ford used the ending for product, racing and other announcements. It sounds like there will be another Raptor Rally next year. Driving the Ford Ranger Raptor in the desert. Stated at the beginning, the folks at Ford tossed me the keys to a Ranger Raptor. This was to help me get around during the event, as it covered several miles of off-road territory. While I covered the event, this also allowed for playtime. In my first rodeo with the Ranger Raptor. In fact, I have friends who own one as a studio vehicle. Having a lot of wheel time in that one. Plus this model in the desert, well, it was outstanding. I was able to compare how they performed on hardcore rocky hills, mud, snow, and now the desert. This is where the Ford Ranger Raptor shines. Ridiculous power allows it to pull itself out of deep sand traps. Power hits hard, blasting through berms, hills and even dunes. There is very little lag, and unlike the F-150 Raptor and Raptor R, this truck is a breeze to maneuver on tight trails. The Fox suspension is remarkably forgiving, although I find it less utilitarian than GM's DSSV suspension. It still soaks up the worst of the desert with ease. Highway, the ride is fairly soft, but not as spongy as its bigger brethren. Those 33-inch BF Goodrich all-terrain KO3s have great off-road grip and feel flexible. On road, they are a bit loud. And I would prefer the K02, which is a quieter compromise. Steering feel isn't great, but the steering weight is more than acceptable. I had no problem placing the front tires exactly where I wanted them. Final thoughts. This is a rewarding little truck to drive off-road. I had an absolute blast bounding over and drifting around obstacles. This little guy has swagger in all elements, and it looks macho too. If you're serious about hauling or towing, save some dough and get the FX4 or even the Tremor. This level of off-road capability comes at a cost, with some trade-offs in utility. Towing capacity still reaches over 5,500 pounds, and it can haul more than 1,400 pounds, depending on the setup, but those numbers are fairly average. Knowing this, I will say that you will be hard-pressed to build a small pickup truck as capable as this one is for the factory price. In addition, this is the least expensive way to get into the Raptor family. For some, that may be what it's all about.